Hey guys, it's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to Guns Galore on my channel. Now, this time we're talking about a 1993 American fantasy action comedy. Yeah, that's a lot to swallow. Directed by the great John McTiernan. No, it's not Die Hard. This is what he did after the first Die Hard. And it's basically a satire of action films and winking and winking and breaking the fourth wall of with the cliches of in other parody movies, and that is Arnold Schwarzenegger's Last Action Hero. Well, this is a fun movie. It's very flawed. Like the nostalgia critic says, one of the worst movies. It's boring. I can understand that. I mean, the movie is over 2 hours long. It almost has a James Cameron feel when it comes to the running time. There's some filler in it, but I'll get to that. Yeah, basically Arnold plays Jack Slater. I had this toy when I was a kid. A Los Angeles police detective with the Jack Slater action film franchise. Well, Austin O'Brien, that's the kid in the movie, plays Danny Madigan, a boy magically transported into the Slater universe. And Charles Dance as Benedict, a ruthless assassin with a glass eye, transported from Slater's universe to escape to the real world. Schwarzenegger also serves as the film's executive producer and plays himself as the actor portraying Slater. Yeah, before Deadpool, we had this as a movie that broke the fourth wall and was winking at the audience. It's funny because you know who wrote the story here? Zach Penn. He worked on some of the X-Men movies, and you know how great those were recently. Yeah, I I'm glad they're over. And Shane Black, yeah, the same asshole that directed Iron Man 3 and made it the mess with the stupid Mandarin twist, and he ruined the Predator. But hey, he also did Lethal Weapon, so I'll cut him some slack. And the first Predator movie, he was in that. The movie's 2 hours and 11 minutes. I think it could be 10 or 15 minutes short. Like there's some scenes, some comedy scenes of like characters in the background, like that uh, cartoon cat voiced by Danny DeVito. He could be cut out because it's not. This is not Roger Rabbit. There's a lot of celebrity cameos that are just come out of nowhere. You have Little Richard and Jim Belushi and Chevy Chase and MC Hammer for some reason, and even an archive footage of Humphrey Bogart before when he died, but it's archive footage of him. Uh, Art Carney made a last appearance. This is the last movie before he died in 2003. And yeah, the people consider this movie a failure because it didn't make a lot of money. Because again, they released it the same summer as Jurassic Park. It didn't stand a chance. It's like releasing a freaking animated movie that's not DreamWorks or Pixar against an Avengers movie. What the hell do you expect? But yeah, it was a critical and commercial disappointment during its initial theatrical release. But it has got a film. It's become a cult film among fans and critics. Yeah, and it's one of the few PG-13 Arnold movies. So you're not going to see a ton of blood in this. There's no decapitations. Arnold doesn't break somebody's neck. He doesn't he doesn't have a bloody arm. He's not going to it is what it is, guys. It's basically like a live action cartoon. And I saw this as a kid, so it didn't scar me. I was not allowed to see PG-13 movies by myself, so I saw it with my parents. And there's, a lot of things like, Austin saying, Danny saying, it's a movie, it's a movie, it's a movie. And I'm like, we know it's a movie, Danny. You don't have to keep telling us about it. Yeah, the film was released in the UK and opened number 3 behind Jurassic Park and Dennis. I had never heard of Dennis. Schwarzenegger states that he tried to persuade his co-producers to postpone the film. You mean like what happened this year, where half of the movie industry was postponed? But they turned a deaf ear on the ground and the movie would have lost money, millions of dollars in revenue for every weekend of the summer and ended up missing. Also fearing that delaying the movie would create negative publicity. He also authors of Hit and Run that while everyone involved with the production had given their best effort, their attempt to appeal to both action and comedy fans resulted in a film that appealed to neither one. I'm like, because it's not R rated. It's not Terminator. It's not Total Recall. It's not True Lies. Don't worry, Arnold. You've had a long, illustrious career. This is not as bad as Terminator Genesis or Dark Fate, because those are bastardized versions of something that used to be great. And this, at least it was one and done. Yeah, the consensus on Rotten Tomatoes was Last Action Hero has most of the right ingredients for a big budget action spoof, but its scattershot tone and uneven structure only adds to the confused, chaotic mess. But like I said, you could cut some of it out. I understand that it's not. This also got 6 Razzies. It's not that bad, guys. If you've never seen this movie, it's worth a watch. They have it on cable. Worst picture, worst actor, no. Worst director, worst screenplay, worst new star, worst original song, Big Gun, never heard of it. But it didn't win anyway. At the 93 Stinkers, the movie received 2 nominations. I don't get it. I don't think this movie's horrible, guys. I can see why it has a cult following. There's some decent jokes in there. There's like a joke where they go into a blockbuster video, like in Captain Marvel, the movie that everybody shit on last year, that these haters, and they see a standee of Stallone as the Terminator in T2. That's funny. And there's a scene where Arnold has these machine guns that says "Hi." See, it's not to be taken seriously. He's not gonna like blow their heads off. It's not that kind of a movie. You have other people in the movie too. You have Bridget Wilson is in the movie. She's a gorgeous blonde that was in Mortal Kombat. Billy Madison. You have Tom Noonan as the side villain, the Reaper. I think. Yeah, he's pretty awesome in the movie. He's always got screen presence. You got Ian McKellen in a cameo at the very end as the Grim Reaper. He's the Reaper. The other one is the assassin. And then you have Mercedes Rule. She's the mom. F. Murray Abraham, good actor, but they always make him a villain. I'm like, why? He's not Tim Curry, guys. And then you have Frank McRae. You have Robert Prosky as the old man that gives Danny the ticket. You have a bunch of cameos, like I said before. Arnold's wife at the time, Maria Shriver, makes a cameo. You have the Asian guy from Die Hard because he worked with McTiernan in the first Die Hard. He's one of the henchmen that shoots at Arnold in the beginning of the movie when Danny enters into the movie world and he gets a ice cream cone on the back of his head. Hey, this movie gave me better laughs than half of the movies I saw last year. It's a lot better than freaking Stuber. That movie I chuckled once. It wasn't funny, and it was not a parody. Sharon Stone, Robert Patrick, they make cameos, but it was just forced in there. Angie Everhart as a video store clerk. Yeah, she's gorgeous. You've probably seen her in a lot of films. She's still hot. I mean, this is what she looks like now. Well, this is from a couple years ago, but gorgeous redhead, Josh. Beware. And you also have oh yeah, Anthony Quinn. This is one of his last films. Not his last film, but it was a later film he did later in his career. He's there. He dies. Um, you have Jean-Claude Van Damme. He makes a cameo. Wilson Phillips appears during the funeral scene. Joan Plowright is the English teacher who shows her class the 1940 film version of Hamlet. Yeah, and like I said, the action is guns aplenty. They use guns in the movie. They're not using like Nerf guns like in Street Fighter the movie. Arnold does get to get some stupid one-liners, but it's fun. And there's no F bombs, so kids can actually watch this with their parents and not be scarred. There is blood, but that's because it's a Schwarzenegger movie and from the early '90s, so it is a PG-13 though. There is some sexual jokes where women are running around scantily clad again, because us guys are going to watch this movie. And while this is a flawed film, like I said, it's too long. There's a lot of characters that could be cut out. Danny's mom is barely in the movie, but it's fun. And it has a fast pace. It doesn't take an hour for something to happen. Trust me. I've seen other movies, action movies, where nothing happens for an hour. Also, Tina Turner makes a cameo in it, and the police chief is a black guy that yells. And I'm like, yeah, it's a parody. It's not to be taken seriously. If people went into this movie expecting Terminator 2, but making fun of that movie, they do that in one scene, but that's it. And I don't mind Arnold's accent. I know everybody's like, oh, we can't to act. I'm like, he's a fun actor to watch. Unlike Liam Hemsworth or half of these people that were in The Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker and Rogue One, he's not boring to listen to. Hell, him dubbed over as Darth Vader on YouTube, look that up. That's funnier than any jokes in the Disney Star Wars. And I know I keep harping on those movies. I hate those films, guys. I hate every single one of them. Every single one of them. They're not fun. They're boring. They're too freaking up their own ass. The feminist agendas bother me. They're too dark at times, like freaking Rogue One's tone and Solo's lighting. Like I said, you can't see a thing. And also, like I said, they're just not needed. This movie was fun. The fact that we got it means, yeah, the video game sucked, but the toys were cool. The movie's fun to watch. I mean, it's not the best thing. It's not Arnold's best, but it's not his worst either. I saw Junior, and that's horrible because it's so boring and unfunny that I was like, "This is a movie, or is this a joke?" Yeah, but it's a fun movie. It's not the worst thing ever. If you want a fun Arnold movie that you can watch with your kids, like the Marvel movies now, it's worth a watch. It's not horrible. There are movies that are way worse than this. Stuber, PG R rated, and all they do is curse and say sex jokes that aren't funny, and you get to see man ass. That's what you get for action comedies now. And the best joke in that movie was in the trailer. Hello, operator, someone's trying to murder us. And then they said, hello, the operator. That was funny, but that was in the trailer. By the time it's in the movie, it lost its potency. Here, there's some stuff that makes me chuckle. I like the posters. Posters freaking awesome. And if you have not seen this movie, like I said, millennials, get to it. You can stream it somewhere, and they have it on Showtimes if you have cables or Showtime subscriptions. It's a good movie. Well, it's a fun movie. It's not a good movie, but it has its merits. It's not like I regret watching it because again, there's way worse out there. Check out the direct to video land. There's at least 10 to 5 billion sequels to movies that we didn't need, like Hard Target 2, that are way worse than that movie. And I can guarantee you they're worse. Even with an R rating, it doesn't save it. But yeah, the movie's fine, and if you want to watch it, it's worth watching at least once. If you don't have to own it, I don't own it. I'm eventually going to, maybe, but it's not horrible. Trust me, it's not even Arnold's worst. At least Arnold was in his prime when he did this. He wasn't 75 years old like he is now, or whatever. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll give you another video next time. See ya.